Commander Jessica Hayes stood at the viewport of her research vessel, watching the crystalline spires of the Valdoran capital pierce through layers of aurora-tinted atmosphere. 3 months had passed since the first peaceful contact with the mysterious species, and humanity was still learning the intricate protocols of interstellar diplomacy. The Valdorans possessed technology that could reshape civilizations, yet they remained remarkably selective about their interactions with other species. The summons had arrived without warning through official channels. Princess Lyralai of House Astrium requested the presence of Commander Hayes at the royal palace, with no explanation provided. The request bypassed all standard diplomatic procedures, leaving both human and Valdoran officials puzzled by the unprecedented breach of protocol. Ambassador Rebecca Stone had spent hours analyzing the formal invitation, searching for hidden meanings in the elaborate script. The Valdorans communicated through layers of meaning, where every word choice carried significance beyond its surface interpretation. Yet this particular message contained only the essential elements: time, place, and the cryptic phrase, "for the purpose known to the wind touched." Hayes piloted her shuttle through the designated approach corridor, marveling at the organic architecture. That seemed to grow from the planet's surface rather than being constructed upon it. The Valdorans had evolved from a species that lived in harmony with their world's electromagnetic fields, developing both technology and culture around the concept of natural resonance. Their cities hummed with gentle vibrations that could be felt through the hull of approaching spacecraft. The landing platform materialized beneath her shuttle as she descended, its surface shifting from translucent energy to solid matter. A delegation of royal guards waited in formation, their ceremonial armor gleaming with embedded gems that pulsed in rhythm with their heartbeats. They stood with the characteristic grace of their species, tall and ethereal, with features that seemed carved from moonlight and starshine. Captain Emily Rodriguez, Hayes' second-in-command, had remained aboard the research vessel to monitor communications. Her voice crackled through the comm system as Hayes prepared to disembark. "Jessica, we're receiving some unusual energy readings from the palace complex. Nothing threatening, but definitely outside normal parameters." Hayes checked her translation device and adjusted her formal uniform. The Valdorans placed enormous importance on proper presentation, and any misstep could have diplomatic consequences extending far beyond this single encounter. She had studied their customs for weeks, memorizing the subtle gestures and verbal formulations that demonstrated respect for their ancient traditions. The palace interior exceeded every description she had received from previous human visitors. Corridors curved in impossible directions, lit by captured starlight that had been woven into the very walls. Gardens flourished in defiance of physics, with flowering vines that grew in spirals through the air itself. The Valdorans had mastered the art of making their environment respond to emotional states, creating spaces that adapted to the feelings of their inhabitants. Princess Lyralai awaited in a chamber that seemed to exist partially outside normal space-time. The walls showed glimpses of distant galaxies, while the floor reflected scenes from worlds Hayes had never seen. The princess herself possessed the otherworldly beauty characteristic of her lineage, with silver hair that moved as if underwater and eyes that held the depth of nebulae. "Commander Hayes," the princess spoke in accented but precise English, "thank you for accepting my invitation, despite its unusual nature." Hayes executed the formal bow she had practiced countless times. "Your Highness, it is an honor to be received in your palace, though I confess both our governments are curious about the reason for this meeting." The princess gestured for Hayes to sit in one of the chairs that materialized from the floor. "The reason is both simple and complex, as many important things tend to be. My people have been observing humanity for some time, particularly your species' remarkable ability to adapt and overcome seemingly impossible challenges." Hayes felt a chill of anticipation. This conversation was heading toward territory that could reshape humanity's relationship with the galactic community. "We appreciate your interest in our development, Your Highness." 3 cycles ago, the princess continued, our deepest sensors detected an anomaly approaching from the void between galaxies. Something vast and hostile, consuming entire star. Systems as it travels. Our greatest minds have calculated its arrival time at approximately 47 of your years. The implications hit Hayes like a physical blow, an extinction-level threat to the entire galaxy, and the Valdorans were discussing it with a human commander rather than their own military leaders. Why are you telling me this instead of our diplomatic corps? Princess Lyralay stood and walked to one of the impossible windows, gazing out at the star-filled sky, because our analysis indicates that conventional approaches will fail against this entity. It adapts to every strategy, learns from every encounter, and grows stronger with each victory. We need something it cannot predict or prepare for. And you believe humanity can provide that something? Your species possesses a quality that we have observed in no other spacefaring civilization. When faced with insurmountable odds, humans do not calculate optimal retreat strategies or seek accommodation with superior forces. Instead, you find ways to make the impossible merely improbable. Hayes considered the princess's words carefully. Humanity's reputation for stubborn determination had preceded them into space, earning both respect and bewilderment from more analytically minded species. What exactly are you proposing? The princess returned to her seat, her expression grave, but determined. A joint task force combining our technological capabilities with human tactical innovation. But more than that, we need human leadership for this project. Our people think in patterns too refined, too predictable. We need commanders who can embrace controlled chaos. You want us to lead a galactic defense force? I want you specifically to head the strategic planning division. Your military record shows exactly the kind of unconventional thinking we need. The Battle of Europa, where you used solar radiation as a weapon. The rescue mission at Titan, where you turned a collapsing space station into a catapult. These are the solutions we cannot generate ourselves. Hayes felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders like a physical burden. 47 years seemed like a long time, but preparing an entire galaxy for war against an unknown entity would require every moment they could gather. I'll need to consult with Earth Command. Of course, but understand that time is not our ally in this endeavor. Every day of delay allows this entity to consume more resources, to grow more powerful. The princess stood again, indicating the meeting was drawing to a close. I have prepared detailed briefings for your superiors, along with our preliminary technological offerings for this alliance. As Hayes prepared to leave, one question burned in her mind. Your Highness, why the secrecy? Why not announce this threat through official channels? Princess Lyralay smiled sadly. Because panic serves no purpose when the enemy is still decades away, but preparation, begun quietly and efficiently, might give us the edge we need when the time comes. Commander. Hayes departed the palace with the knowledge that humanity's greatest test still lay ahead, hidden in the darkness between stars.